Hi friends, my name is Mary and I am the NICU Translator. I wanted to make this video today to talk a little bit about 10 things that your NICU nurse wants you to know. So many people when they come to the NICU are scared and overwhelmed and had gone through their whole pregnancy thinking that I know what the NICU is, but there's no way that could happen to me. There's no way it's my baby that would be going to the NICU. And the reality is that for about 15 to 20% of all pregnancies, end up with a baby that needs some NICU care, at least for a little while in the beginning. So today I'm going to talk about 10 things that we in the NICU want you to know as a new family who has a baby in the NICU. So I have the list on my computer over here, so if you see me looking over, I'm just double checking where I am. So I've been a NICU nurse for about 8.5 years now. I work in a level 4 NICU, so that's the highest level of acuity, and we see everything, all different kinds of diagnoses from all over my area of the country. So we see everything from super early premature babies all the way to term kids that need surgical intervention, everything in between. And no matter why your baby's in the NICU, it's always overwhelming and scary. So the first thing that I want a NICU family to know is that it's okay to be happy and sad at the same time. So when your baby's born, it's arguably one of the best days of your life. You're turning into a family of 3 or 4, or whatever number the baby is. But with the NICU admission, it takes that day and it taints it. So you are sometimes separated from your baby, and it's just something that wasn't in your birth plan, clearly. For some families it is, but for the most part it's just a surprise. So you can be super happy that your baby is here and they're in your arms or near your body, but still be sad that they're in the NICU and that your plan didn't work exactly how you wanted to. That's okay, that's normal, and it's hard to kind of process sometimes, but you can be happy and sad and everything in between, and it's all okay. This brings me to number 2, which is the NICU roller coaster is very real. You might hear your NICU nurse say in the beginning, especially with a preemie, they go through something we call a honeymoon phase, where they still quite haven't realized that they've been born yet, and all of their numbers and vitals look really good, and they're just kind of cruising, and then all of a sudden something comes up. So maybe they have need for more respiratory support, or there's something going on with their belly and they're having a hard time feeding, or they have signs of an infection. So that's what we mean by the roller coaster. Like literally, like you think you're going up, everything's good, and drops down, and then back up, and then drops down. And that's normal. We say never trust a preemie, never trust a NICU baby. They're on their own schedule and on their own time. And as much as we want to support or control what their outcomes are, we're just here for the ride also, the NICU team. Like, we are here to support every little twist and turn in their journey, and we're here to support you through that too. But it is emotionally draining and a kind of overwhelming, but at the end, you get to get off the ride most of the time. So just hunker down and enjoy the ride as much as you can. So number 3 is that you are still the mama or the papa or the family, and you still know best. Even though you're in the NICU, especially because you're in the NICU, a lot of the control and autonomy and feelings that you are able to parent kind of are taken away. And the NICU team looks like they're the ones parenting the baby. And to a certain extent, there's some truth to that, because there are certain things that we can do and we're specially trained to do that is different than what a family can. But first and foremost, you are still that baby's family, and you know them best. And we trust you, and we respect you, and we know that you are at the bedside for hours and hours, days and days at a time. We're just there for a snapshot of the baby's day. So if you think that something is funny, or you have a question, or your mama or papa gut just feels off, say something. And we trust you. We know that this is your baby, and you know what's best for them overall. So keep being that little baby's voice. The next one kind of goes off of that too. So if you can't be there for your baby if you aren't taking care of yourself first. So often I see families that feel like they have to live in the NICU 24/7, and the second they step away, something horrible is going to happen to their baby. And I get that fear. Like, I'm a mama myself, and the idea of walking away and trusting another person to take care of your your one and only is terrifying. But you can't be the best advocate unless you are eating and drinking water and sleeping and showering and taking care of yourself, and that can't happen in the NICU. So you need to plan times in your day or days at a time where you step away and you reconnect to the old you, and you go for a walk, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, I don't know, have a meal that is meaningful to you, call your friends. That is enough sometimes to just recharge, reset, and then when you come back in the NICU, you can be there full on, ready to go, ready to support your baby. Otherwise, you might be falling asleep and not processing, and your baby needs the best version of you in order to really thrive and grow in the NICU. They don't need you there 24/7, 7 days a week. They need the best you possible. And we kind of joke that you have the world's most expensive babysitters in the NICU nurses. So take that time. We love your baby, which comes to number 5. We are all on team baby first. Like, we are all NICU professionals for a reason. We chose NICU because we want to be a voice for the voiceless and take care of the most vulnerable but most incredible and strong patients that are around. So now that when you're gone, we are there. Our eyes are on your baby, we're loving on your baby, and we're all on team baby first. Number 6 is we want you to do as much as possible for your baby, and we're there to help you support and learn as much as you can, as quickly as you can. So even day 1, if your baby is a pound but has a diaper that needs to be changed, we can teach you how to do that. And blood pressures, and as you get older, some places will let you learn tube feedings and all sorts of other aspects of care of a NICU baby. We want, again, this to be your baby and you to be able to do as much as possible, and that also helps to decrease kind of reality shock if your baby needs to go home with some additional medical equipment at the time of discharge. It's not a surprise, you're already comfortable with it, and you've already had that time to kind of learn and hone your skills. So if the nurse is not offering to you to help, ask. Say, hey, like, I've seen you do that blood pressure a few times. Do you think you could show me how to do it? And most of the time, if it's safe and appropriate, they'll say, yeah, absolutely, we'll show you how to do it. And then from there on forward, that's your new job. So definitely try to soak up and learn as many skills as you can. We literally have some families that come back to the NICU like 5 years later as NICU nurses. They were so imprinted on by the NICU that they went back to nursing school, or they were already medical professionals and they changed careers and they want to come back and be the bedside provider that their child had. So it's pretty cool. Number 7, you can make the NICU like your second home. So for a lot of babies, they're in the NICU for days, weeks, months at a time, just learning how to grow, just like they were if they were in your belly. And most NICUs are like fairly cozy, but you can really personalize it as much as your particular NICU will let you. So in our unit, families will bring in blankets, clothes, siblings can do artwork that we can put on the walls. We have a lot of different little milestone signs you could put up, name signs, custom isolate covers. Like, you can really nestle in and make it your own space. Bring in books from home that you want to read to your baby. Bring in your own boppy pillow. Have some snacks at the bedside if that's something that's allowed. If you're going to spend a lot of time in the NICU, take some time to really make it feel like a safe and cozy place that you can relax in and not always be on edge, because the NICU is a place where sometimes families can feel really anxious and not relaxed. But I think taking the time to nest in the NICU can really make a big difference in how comfortable you feel there. So number 8 is the days are long, but the time goes by quickly. So when you're living it, feels like the longest time of your life, and that is definitely true, especially as you're getting closer to discharge, but there's no actual discharge date in sight. The days can feel just never-ending and repetitive and frustrating. But overall, it's just a blip in your child's life, and they have the whole rest of their life ahead of them, and the NICU will be just part of their story. And it's something that they can share and show and say, look how far I've come. So in the moment, keep trying to think of the future and living each day at a time, and knowing that it will be done at some point and you will be able to move on. So number 9 on that is that NICU babies have to literally learn how to do everything for the first time, and that is really hard work. So often babies will get through the scary part of their NICU stay. So the beginning, when they're on respiratory support, they're learning how to maintain their blood pressure. Things are more high intensity, and then all of a sudden they're graduated to the feeder grower stage, and that's where things kind of sometimes stall. Like, they literally have to learn how to eat and breathe and do all these amazing things that they never had to do, and that can take a lot of time. It would be great if we could just have like a nice course that we can use to teach a baby how to eat and breathe on their own, but again, it's on their time and we're just there for the ride. So, sorry, my dog just barked in the middle of that. I'm back. So the best thing that you can do is just support them and have patience and know that it will come together eventually. And there's nothing that we can do to rush the process. We just have to be there for each step of the journey and know that it will end soon. So the very last thing, and this is the most important one, is you've got this. The NICU is hard and scary and overwhelming and wild, but you've got this. Like, you were made to do hard things. This is probably one of the hardest things you're gonna have to do, but you've got it and we've got you. The NICU family is gonna be your second family, and we are here to get you through it and get you out the other side. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. You can follow me at the NICU Translator on Instagram, or subscribe to my channel, and I'll have lots of new videos about all things NICU coming soon. Thank you. Bye.